I want to know if anybody else does this. I have had some movies on my list of movies to watch for years, and the reason for this is because it just isn't the right time of year to watch them. Like, I don't want to watch a movie set in winter in the middle of summer, and I don't want to watch an Easter movie in the middle of autumn/fall. It doesn't feel right, which is why I have this complete separate list of movies where, we'll just try again next year. I am fully aware that I am talking about summer as well while wearing a sweater, because the UK has decided today that it's going to be 13 degrees, which for my Americans out there is 55.4. Now, I know from my comment section that there are some of you out there that actively watch the movies that I talk about on my channel at the same time as me, which is both insane and amazing, and it's crazy, and I can't thank you guys enough for those of you that come back every single video to watch my content and to comment, and yeah, it means a lot. If you're new here, I go by Hordes, and if you're not new, welcome back. I talk about horror movies here on my channel on Mondays and Fridays, and if that sounds like something you would be interested in, maybe even stick around and join the Horde. Obviously, these are not the only movies that I'm going to be watching over summer. I will still be doing my lists and recommendation content as well, and I have purposely chosen not to include 2024 releases on this list because A, you never know if a release date is going to get moved, and often a release date is different according to what country that you are in. So without further ado, here are the 6 horror movies that I will 100% be watching here on my channel over the summer. 2 in June, 2 in July, and 2 in August, because I am not delaying these movies again until next year. Onto the list. The Stand from 2015 is a horror sci-fi creature feature. After an epic beach party to celebrate their college graduation, a large group of hungover 20-somethings wake up on a secluded private beach. But under the bright light of an otherwise ordinary spring break morning, the unsuspecting teens realise that somehow the sand under their feet is alive, ready to devour those who touch it. Now, as the death toll keeps rising, an unseen carnivorous entity is waiting patiently for the slightest wrong move. I first heard about the sand thanks to the YouTube channel How to Beat, and it certainly piqued my attention because creature feature on a beach, and there is something inherently creepy about animals or creatures that bury themselves and hide under the surface. And I was recently treated on Threads to this nightmare fuel, which somebody recently pulled out of the sand on a beach. Now, I don't care if it's real, I don't care if it's fake, this thing is straight out of H.P. Lovecraft's mind. It is no, absolutely not. Now, the sand being a creature feature is the exact reason why this appeared on my list, because it is not about a giant shark, a giant octopus, or a giant squid. Now, I know what the creature is in this movie, but I am not going to spoil it. But it's safe to say that I was pleasantly surprised when I found out the direction that this movie goes in.
What the hell is that?
You can expect a single location movie, a group of teens trying to get to safety, sand that you can't touch, and tiny, tiny tentacles that will rip your face off. Number 2. The Odd Family Zombie on Sale from 2019 is a South Korean zombie horror comedy. When the illegal human experiments of Korea's biggest pharmaceutical company go wrong, one of their undead test subjects escapes and ends up at a shabby gas station owned by the Park family. When the family uncover their undead visitor, he bites the head of the household, who instead of turning into an undead ghoul, becomes revitalized and full of life. The family then hatch a plan to exploit this unexpected fountain of youth, allowing locals to pay to be bitten, until things go horribly wrong. Okay, all honesty, I just thought this one looked really cute, and there is such a thing as a cute horror movie. In fact, my personal favourite zombie movie is a cutesy movie. I won't say what, because it's going to appear on a recommendations list in a few weeks, but yes, cute horror is a thing. Now, what I love about The Odd Family is having seen more than my share of zombie movies at this point, have never come across one where if you get bitten by a zombie, rather than turning into the oops, you're now the Walking Dead kind, do you age backwards? Now, I love a zombie movie that isn't afraid to take some big swings, and The Odd Family Zombie on Sale is certainly taking some massive swings to help it stand out, and I love that about this movie.
This is how you hit a crotch with a baseball bat! Ah!
You can expect an adorable zombie that is eating ketchup-covered cabbages, and a family that loves a get-rich-quick scheme that is about to go very wrong thanks to Big Pharma. Number 3. Lake Placid from 1999 is an action creature feature horror. Shortly after the horrifying underwater attack in Maine's Black Lake, the local fish and game officer Jack Wells enlists the help of New York City paleontologist Kelly Scott to investigate. With only a mangled body as their starting point, Jack and Kelly embark on a dangerous mission to find the mysterious creature, as Sheriff Hank, a mythology professor, and an eccentric inhabitant all want to locate the elusive predator first. But something deadly is lurking beneath the silent pond, and it's already taking a liking to juicy human flesh. A few months ago, here on my channel, I watched Anaconda for the first time, and in that video, I said that I love a creature feature, particularly a giant alligator or a giant crocodile. Alligator from 1980 is the first one that springs to mind because they named the alligator Ramon, which instantly makes me love him more. Now, going into this one, I am already on Team Alligator, and I don't care if that makes me biased. There's something about watching a giant creature wreak havoc, especially on people in boats, that is going to appeal to me on a deeply emotional level. And I am 100% ready for this one because this alligator is enormous.
It's huge.
You can expect missing limbs, a face-off to catch a prehistoric predator, and a giant alligator stuck in a helicopter. Number 4. Tusk from 2015 is a comedy body horror. When podcaster Wallace travels to Canada to interview someone, he winds up meeting a strange man named Hal, who has many stories to tell about his past during the interview. Wallace wakes up the next day finding Hal isn't the person he thought he was, as Hal plans to surgically and mentally turn Wallace into a walrus. Hear me out on this one, okay? For the longest time, you couldn't stream Tusk here in the UK anywhere, and a physical copy was so expensive. We're talking ridiculously expensive. So that is why, even though I am someone that loves the weirdest of the weirdest horror movies, I haven't seen Tusk yet. And going off reviews for this one, it is very, very polar opposite in what people think of this. There's no in the middle. There's either love it because it is so weird, or hate it because it is so weird, which is why I now need to watch this movie. I need to watch a man get turned into a giant walrus. It needs to happen.
Whatever goes, walrus.
You can expect some of the wildest prosthetics you have ever seen, a man that is obsessed with a walrus called Mr. Tusks, and walrus-human hybrid fights. Number 5. Dead Sushi from 2012 is a Japanese action horror comedy. Kiko, the daughter of a legendary sushi chef, runs away from home when his karate-style regime becomes too severe. Finding work at a rural hot spring inn, she is ridiculed by the president of a pharmaceutical company. When one of the researchers arrives intent on revenge by creating a serum that turns fish on rice into killer sushi, Kiko has to team up with former sushi chef Sawada to fight off the creatures. I have been binging Japanese horror movies for the past few weeks, and if you follow me on Letterboxd, you will already be aware of this. So it is no surprise that something weird, crazy, off the wall from Japan was going to end up on this list because they are a personal favourite of mine. Gothic Lolita Battle Bear, if you haven't seen it, is amazing and a perfect prime example of a weird, off the wall Japanese horror action comedy movie. And Dead Sushi is everything that I want and a bag of chips. It is weird, it is off the wall, it is crazy, there's action sequences, there's really cutesy characters, there's a man with a fish for a head at one point in this. Like, what more do I need to be convinced to watch this movie? The answer is I don't. I'm already sold. Dinner! You can expect Big Pharma meddling in places that they don't need to be, sushi that bites back, and a man with a fish for a head. Number 6. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark from 1988 is a horror comedy. When a chauvinist millionaire buys the TV network where Elvira is working as a TV host, she quits her job with the intentions of producing her own show in Las Vegas. However, the producers demand $50,000 for her and Elvira does not have the money. Out of the blue, she receives a telegram informing her that she has inheritance to receive. Upon arriving in a small town where she has inherited a rundown mansion, the former horror hostess battles an evil uncle and townsfolk who want her burned at the stake. Of course, I was going to include something from the 80s on this list, and confession time, I have never seen anything starring Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. My introduction to her is possibly the most millennial mid-2000s confession you have ever heard of. I discovered Elvira thanks to the reality TV show The Girls Next Door, which is a reality show that followed Hugh Hefner's 3 girlfriends at the Playboy Mansion, and Elvira happens to pop up in the Halloween episode in 2005. Now, I know that Elvira is widely considered to be one of horror's greatest hosts, and I want to know why she is considered to be such an icon, and what better place to find out than her feature film, because obviously they are going to include everything that makes Elvira as a character great in that feature movie.
My big boobs.
You can expect sexy, campy horror, an uncle that is insistent on inheriting a rundown mansion, and a town that is in dire need of a change of heart. So there you have it, the 6 horror movies that I have decided that I will be prioritizing watching at some point over the summer here on my channel. If you want to recommend me any other movies that you think would be great for summer, please feel free to leave them down in my comment section down below. I go and check out every single recommendation that I get given. If you would like to know every single horror movie that I watch though, you can also find me over on Instagram and Letterboxd at HordesOfHorror. Maybe even stick around and join the Horde here on YouTube, because thank you so much to every single person that has joined so far, because thanks to you all, I made the YouTube partner program, which is absolutely wild to me, and I'm so grateful to every single person that has watched one of my videos, liked, commented, or even decided to stick around and subscribe. Like, you guys are amazing, and yeah, I genuinely can't thank you enough. Yeah, I will be back on Monday though with another solo movie review, and this time it will actually be one of the movies that appeared here on this list, because I will be watching Dead Sushi from 2012. So until next time, and I will stop waffling, bye.